Hey everybody, it's your boy Matty Rants. We're talking about Camp Wannakiki episode 3 of season 2, Mirror Mirror. Now, this was definitely a shocking elimination, and I'm going to try to go through this in order here. But as you already know, I just did the Drag Race UK reaction, which you'll have on Friday. I did the Pose finale review, which was last night, and now I'm doing this. Plus, I have a flight to catch in the morning. I need to get to my Airbnb. And I still got the back. And I gotta do all this. Blah, 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 blah. So let's go down the line of everything that's happened so far this episode, and I'm going to go through this as quickly as I possibly can. But yes, I was definitely shocked that 2 people went home tonight, or today, or whatever it's... when was this uploaded? Like at 10:30 in the morning in California time? Yeah, they went home this morning. Now, Mirror Mirror in the stall, which of the Sugar Baker twins is the fairest of them all? We had a funny little joke, random moment in the bathroom stall with the Sugar Baker twins, basically getting us ready for the Mirror Mirror badge that Ruthie Keister brings to the attention of the camp queens right before they get into their first challenge, which is in the arts and crafts room, which I thought was actually really cute. Start from Wighead and turn it into an actual representation of themselves. Which I gotta give Coco all the love in the world, girl, because you're like, now this is not, the shade is wrong. And I'm even further upset and happy at the same time that you took the dirt from your shoe and rubbed it on your styrofoam head, girl. You was trying to get some kind of melanin on there, baby, that I don't know what to tell you, but that was hilarious. Now, everyone starts to dive into the things that are going on in their own worlds or certain things that we would never know about them. For example, Tor Hyman is colorblind, and I would never have known that based on her palette for the first episode and the second episode with what she wore for drag. Boris talks about being one of the only drag kings in Kansas City and why it's a big deal for her to even be on this show and to represent the drag kings. Shout out to you, Boris. I'm a fan. Diana Fire brings up being a bearded queen and the stigma with that, and there is one, trust me. The girls see a beard and they immediately exclude you from even drag sometimes and say that it's too masculine for them to do, but honey, there's all forms of drag. They should all be respected. Now, Miss Kitty Litter ATX, hey baby, brings up how drag back in the day was also used as was mainly used for fundraising with people who were dealing with HIV and AIDS. We know this from Pose and the fact that it was, very, people weren't giving that any kind of light back then. And they were just basically saying, oh, it's the gays disease and doing all that gross stuff. And how drag was really bringing people out and together in that form. And the fact that Miss Kitty is really happy that she's still given a shot and shown a chance on this platform where, you have the young babies out there now showing what they got. Miss Kitty, you are appreciated and we thank you. Claire brings up that she actually decided to do drag after the last process in her transition, which shout out to you, Claire, for being very open about that and sharing with us a bit of your transition story along with your drag story in the same gift. I love it. Barbara's only been performing for 10 months, child. Oh, and you're in LA, so I know that scene, Trust and Believe. I'm at Hamburger Mary's in West Hollywood often, so I know, girl, I know. The scene is deep, so you have to really stand out and shine. I think Barbara Wire's doing a good job of that. Vivica then brought up something I can certainly relate with, as she used to be a part of Christian camps, and I believe she said she was a counselor or even just a person to attend these things, and was asked to leave and to never come back because she was gay. And while that's so un-Christian-like to turn people away and not to show love, it taught her to be a little bit stronger than yesterday, Britney Spears. And I can appreciate you, Vivica. Keep on pushing, baby. I really do feel connected to Tora Hyman, though, after she brought up her father and their relationship and how that was really difficult for her and that there was some sort of understanding or love after, finding out he was in the nursing home and was able to say that he loved it or liked it. I got a lot on my brain, y'all, excuse me. But I got to give you that, Tora Hyman, for sure, because y'all know I have a very strained relationship with my father, and we've just gotten on very good terms again. Hell, I'm going to Houston tomorrow to see him. Now, the winner of the challenge was Ivana, and shout out to her for using her own lashes on her mannequin head. Now, the girls are told that the talent show has to do with them doing impersonations of their favorite celebrities, and they need to do a stand-up set on top of it. I'm a stickler when it comes to comedy. I'm very critical when it comes to jokes, and I gotta say, and just to be honest with you ladies and everyone watching, I was disappointed in almost every set. Honestly, there were some funny moments, there was some great moments, but God, it was difficult. And not all of these queens are stand-up comedians. They're camp queens. That doesn't require them to be stand-up comedians. But in this case, we needed some real help. And I tell you what, let's just go ahead and get to the talent show. Now, the twins gave us Shining teas. Literally, the twins from The Shining. Shout out to one of my favorite movies, and thank you for the Sugar Baker twins for doing that. And Ruthie Keister came out and gave us a little bit of Joan Rivers laughs. Now, I will be honest, I was not laughing for the first 10 seconds, but once she said she was breastfeeding snakes, I was in. Here we go. Tora Hyman came out as Hamburger Mary. Jules, is that you? Because Jules is funny. No shade to you, Tora Hyman, but that was rough. And I know it was rough because you had to make jokes about somebody who technically is a character on a menu, a statue that sits in front of the building sometimes. It's not really a person. I mean, it's modeled after Jules. And if y'all don't know who Jules is, look her up. She's amazing. She's brilliant. She's talented. Love you, Jules. Thank you for talking to me all those times. It was like, I don't know who she's being, because that's not Jules. Jules wouldn't talk like that. And if that's Hamburger Mary, I wouldn't imagine these jokes about Taco Hut and Pizza Bell landing. So it was a little difficult. But I like Tora Hyman, so it was like, But again, this is comedy, so it can be tough. Coco came out as Lizzo, dressed as Sailor Moon. And if you haven't seen the picture, look it up. Coco was being Coco in comedy. That wasn't Lizzo. And I needed a little bit more of that, but I was laughing at Coco and not laughing at her. I was laughing at her jokes. I thought she was funny. I just didn't get Lizzo from what she was doing. And then also she was going a little under the tone a couple times, where she would start to say the joke, or she started it off and she's now going in about it, and her voice would get really, really low. It get really, really low. And then it was like, come on, baby, bring it back up, because we're trying to hear you. But I thought she was still funny, so I gave Coco some credit on that. Now, Barbara Wire came out as James Charles, and Alone for the Paint, I give her a thumbs up and possibly a winner because I thought it was hilarious. Her jokes were here, it just was doing all of that. I wasn't fully invested. I did like the sisters, but once she started saying, when I say this, you say that type of bit, I was like, not here for it. It did not land. I don't like being mean like this, but it was tough. But I like Barbara for what she came out in, and I like the beginning part of her set. Just the last bit was like, ooh. Diana Fire, you were robbed, girl. I thought personally you should have been in the top. You're Sarah, what is it, Huckabee Sanders? Sarah H. Sanders. That was funny. I was here for it. Now, it did take a little while because you were going through your iPhone. I saw that phone. It was cute. I was like, girl, is that the Space Gray? I was like, come on now. This is a little difficult getting these jokes out here. But I feel like, it was better than most. But I think you were able to look at your jokes at the same time you were able to give the jokes. And that's probably what got your score down. But still, I was here for it. Now, Boris gave us Guy Fieri. And that's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. If y'all know who that man is, he looks like a hot Cheeto. Good old blonde, roots are almost dead tease type of hair. And he's actually my favorite person to watch on the Food Network when it comes to finding places that seem to have it goes on that marathon where it just repeats over and over again. And I've been to a few of the restaurants that he has recommended. His restaurant in Vegas is overpriced, but I was here for it. And at the same time, I was like, oh, these jokes are taking a while to get here. She's drawing a map. And when she got to the end, though, I was like, okay, I'm here for this. She looked more like Donald Trump and Guy Fieri and somebody else. Flaming Hot Cheeto had made a baby, and there's Boris was with that makeup. But I was here for it. I was here for it. Claire apparently was Mary Berry from the Great British Bake Off, and that's about that, because that was not funny. Claire, I like you, but I can't find one thing to say that was positive. Other than the fact that you seem to have a really good stage presence, but child, not a joke landed for me. Vivica Galactica was Julia Childs. You had me at the coconuts being thrown at the Sugar Baker twins and Ruthie. At the same time, I still was like, this is a little tough. And then she brought out the red Zinfandel. I don't know. It was just, this was a woo girl. I wanted to fast forward so bad, but I was like, okay, keep it going. But I thought she was, entertaining. I was still entertained by her in a sense, but it was kind of hard. It was hard to watch. Miss Kitty Litter ATX, I believe you should have been given top scores this week. You should have been in the top. You should have been. Your Joan Crawford was on the money. I could not believe you weren't in the top, girl. Who I sound like. But I really was shocked that you were not in the top. Your Joan Crawford was everything. I live for it, Miss Kitty, and I'm sorry that you were not given a win this week because personally, I think you deserved it, baby. I thought you were great. That was the one out of this whole episode where I was like, yeah, there she go. That's Joan. Not all the way, but that's Joan. That's Joan. And last but not least, Ivana. Now, Ivana, I will also tell you this. Had you not had to go off stage and look at your jokes for every other joke that you had, you would have been the top as well. Zsa Zsa Gabor was great, but you were not all the way invested into the character. Excuse me, you didn't have the jokes memorized, and that became a strain on your set, and it seemed very unsure, and it was weebly wobbly, and it does fall down, bloop. And I felt bad for you because I'm like, dang, she would have actually been just fine had she not had to walk off. Carly was not Betty Davis. Carly was doing first time in improv class Betty Davis. Carly, that was bad. And what's really hard about Betty Davis, and the thing about it is that ever since Jinx has done it, for me, it has been very difficult for me to see others do Betty Davis and do her right. I think Sharon Needles tried it and it was cute, but Jinx a girl, like, whoo, she can do a Betty. So I felt bad because I'm like, dang, I'm comparing her to Jinxie and that's not fair. But at the same time, it was like the quietest next to Ivana. It was quiet, girl. Ooh. The top two was Vivica and Boris, which I could see Boris there. Vivica kinda, but honestly, I thought Miss Kitty and Diana Fire would have been up there as well, or them in the top three. It was tough for me, but again, this is the Sugar Baker twins and Ruthie judging. This is not Matty being one of the guest judges. Y'all can call me though with next season. I'll be ready, baby. I can fly, or I can drive. I'm just not walking. They both end up winning because it's the Mirror Challenge. So both Boris and Vivica win, which is really great, and I'm glad they got to share that together. But honey, when I tell you they were passing shares along, girl. We had Claire, we had Ivana, and we had Carly. They sent Carly and Ivana home. Oh, I felt bad for Carly, girl. I really did. And shout out to Carly. You're very attractive out of drag. I was like, oh, look at that face. Look at that face. And Ivana had a really good spirit with her leaving camp. Shout out to you, Ivana. I was here for you, honey, for this whole season. I'm sorry you had to leave so soon. Same to you, Carly, because you were growing on me. I just felt like, dang, girl, I wish you picked somebody different than Betty Davis, possibly. Somebody to match that personality of yours that's very wacky and kooky and fun. But, they had a nice little campfire scene at the end of all of this. And the girls talked about how it's back to the original number, just like in season 1 of only 8 queens. Hey, this is comedy. It's very hard sometimes. And this is one of those episodes where we can find who are the strong contenders from the weak ones. Even though I don't agree with the judging this week at all, I think that everybody did their best. And that's all we can do. So next week, we'll see what happens on Camp Wannakiki. I'll be on vacation, but I'll still get a video out to you, so it may be a little shorter than usual. We may be missing a little green screen moment. I may just put little clips of pictures in, but I will do my best to keep up with this because I love y'all so much, and I will make sure I get this up and running for you. It's your boy, Matty Rants. Hugs and kisses, best love and wishes to you. I'm going to take an hour nap before my haircut. I will talk to you later. Bye.